Hello, YouTube friends. BanDana Gramma here in her kitchen. Excuse me. And as you can see, I've been sewing face masks, reversible face masks. And what better fabric would there be for me to use than bandanas? But I've used other fabric as well, and I'll be showing you how I'm sewing these. Some little tweaks I've made to them because I wasn't happy with a few things and how the pattern I had obtained was working out. And we're also going to be making casserole from leftover ham and vegetables and potatoes from Easter dinner. I do this with every holiday we have. I make casseroles out of the leftovers and put them in the freezer for months down the road when a ham dinner or turkey dinner or whatever sounds like fun. So let me get my glasses on so I can see who's coming in here. Okay, Half Acre Dreams, hello. Ellie, hello. Thank you. Yeah. As you can see, I tried to do a little extra by putting top stitching on. You know, making it just a little more finished. But I've got a bunch I'm hoping to make soon. I've got a few made already. Half Acre Dreams made about 6 so far. That's about what I've done. I've done 7 or 8, I think, is all so far. I keep experimenting with trying to find a way to make them just a little better. Hello, Rebecca. Hi, Picker Rick. Welcome, everybody. And Galena, hello. Welcome. All right, first thing I'm going to do is put together the dinner. And I've got all my ingredients here. I hope, if I looked ahead enough and figured out what I was going to need. I got my light on. Let me turn more lights on. There, that might help a little. All right, so what I've got here, here's my leftover ham. And I've got a lot of it, and I'll be doing a whole lot more with that. One thing I found out, which I didn't know before, I used to make ham and bean soup and can it up. Turns out that it is not recommended that you can ham. You can can pork, but cook things like those little smokies and ham, they say you're not supposed to can them. I know a lot of people do, but I won't be doing it on my videos anymore because I like to stick to the approved methods so I don't get in trouble for steering anybody the wrong way. So I'm not going to be canning this, but I can freeze it. I can freeze the soup and the casseroles and things like that. Yeah, Half Acre Dreams. I didn't know it either. I used to can it up all the time, and it was delicious. We used it fast enough; it was probably no problem. But yeah, look it up. The official word is don't can, home can meats like ham and smoke things. So I'm not quite sure why. I think I read why, but I don't remember why. But that is what they say. Okay, over here I've got my ham. I've got some extra onion and celery. I've got leftover veggies from the table here. Now, I was hoping to have leftover scalloped potatoes, but my scalloped potatoes are very popular on holidays, and they all went. So what I'm doing is I'm boiling up some extra potatoes. I'm going to turn those off now and put them in cold water, and then I'll just slice those in. I'm going to make a cream sauce, which I would do anyway for the casserole to add just a little more creaminess and moisture so you don't have a dry casserole. So let me get my strainer. My little one ought to do. I didn't boil up very many. And I'll come over here to my sink. Strain out the potatoes. And then I'm just going to put them in cold water so I can handle them. Yeah, my house isn't exactly company ready this morning, or this afternoon. But it's been worse. Truth be known. Okay, we'll put those in just to cool them off so I can handle them. I didn't want to boil them too much because I want to slice them like scalloped potatoes would be sliced. So the next thing I'm going to do is make the cream sauce. And it's just your basic white sauce. I guess you could call it a bechamel sauce. And you mix equal parts fat and flour. So I'm going to put in about 1/4 cup of butter. You can use other fats and oils, whatever you prefer, but that's what I'm using today. And we'll melt that down. And then I'm going to saute these raw onions and celery in it. Now I'm making some small casseroles today. Usually lately it's just 3 of us here in the house, my husband, myself, and my oldest daughter. I can always grab more than one if other people come to visit and I want to pull out casseroles. So I just make small ones. You can make them any size you like, of course, the great big ones. All right, now I'm going to put in onion and celery. I don't necessarily give a whole lot of measurements because I don't necessarily want to teach recipes. I want to teach how to cook with what you got. And sometimes I don't pay much attention to measurements. You know, I do what looks good and what feels good and what tastes good, because the main part of cooking is to taste it as you go. Because even with a recipe, there are so many variables that the ingredients somebody else uses with their recipe may not turn out exactly the same for you. They may use a different brand of something. They may have homemade stuff versus canned stuff versus frozen stuff, and flavors change. So you may need more or less seasonings. It's better to learn to have a feel for what you need to do rather than have a set recipe. Okay, so right now I'm getting those sauteed, and I'm going to add to them some carrots. We had fresh sliced carrots with our meal, but they too are gone. So I have some of these so-called baby carrots. And I'm going to throw some of those in too, chopped up. I might make it a little lumpy for making the sauce, but it's all going together anyway, so I don't see the biggie. Okay. Then some of these I'll just put in the casserole itself in slightly larger chunks. Now I like to put carrots in here because sauteed carrots release a lot of sweetness. And I like sauteed sweetness in my soups and stews and casseroles. I never make a recipe the same exact way twice, at least hardly ever. Like if you saw my recipe for our pineapple dressing, that one we stick pretty much to the recipe, but I use different kinds of breads, and some breads soak up a whole lot more of the pineapple than others. So, you know, you gotta just learn to look at your food, taste your food, and adjust what you need to do to have it come out right. All right, now the onions are starting to slightly brown. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. And I'm going to add equal parts of flour. So here's 1/4 cup of flour. And we'll stir that in to get a roux. And I'm going to use evaporated milk. You can use any kind of milk you want. What I remember about evaporated milk is that it reduces about half the volume of milk liquid by taking out water. So you can add half again as much water and come up with more or less what would be equal to full milk value. Like you can put in a half can of milk and add a half a can of water, and it would be equivalent to whole milk. So I add that. And this is going to be a veggie white sauce. I'm going to put the whole can in. And I'm going to add another of water. We'll start with half of water. So that would be a rich milk because it's half a can of water with a whole can of the evaporated milk. All right, we'll just let that go till it thickens up a little. I'm going to add salt and pepper. Makes a white sauce sing. Where's my salt? All right. Now I know you're going to want measurements for this. I am going to make it a little salty because it has to cover all, not too much though, because the ham has salt. So I'm going to put a teaspoon of salt in because that's got to salt the potatoes and all the veggies. And then probably a quarter to a half a teaspoon of pepper, whatever your taste buds say you would like. If you wanted, you could put a bay leaf in here to flavor it a little deeper. You could add some, poultry seasoning or Italian seasoning, anything you would like to give it a flavor you enjoy. All right, I'm going to turn that back up just a bit. And we'll let that come to a boil. See, there's no lumps. If you do it this way, there's no lumps. All right, now for our actual casserole dish, I'm using these little pans. Again, you can use nice glass pans. I am going to butter them just a bit. Wash my hands. Okay. This is coming along nicely. Turn it back down. All right, that's doing well. So, I'm going to put a little bit of this on the bottom. And then I'm going to start layering. I could throw it all in there together and pour it in. You can do that. But here's some ham. Some of the carrots. Some corn and peas. And I'm going to slice up some potatoes in there. All right, I'll turn the sauce off. I think I can add a little more water to that. Make it go a little further. It's thick enough to do that. Stir it in to combine it. All right, then we add some more of this. Some more ham. Now I did this at Thanksgiving with turkey and mashed potatoes and carrots, even dressing I put in there, and it made a delicious casserole, putting all the flavors of Thanksgiving in there. I added dried cranberries, you know, those cran raisin types things. That made it really good. And then months down the road, when you're thinking about how good Thanksgiving dinner was, you can pull one of these casseroles out, and it really tastes good. So anytime you have a holiday, just take some of your leftovers and make yourself up some holiday casseroles made with all the flavors you love from your traditional holidays, and put them in the freezer. Now these raw carrots will cook when we bake the casserole. Right, and then we top it off with some more of this sauce. So it will cook down in there nice when we reheat it all. When we take it out. All right, I'm going to let that cool just a bit, and then I'll be putting a lid on it and marking it, and it'll go in the freezer as our casserole, ham casserole. You could do ham and rice. You could even, I got these out because I thought I might even put some beans in, because ham and beans is always good. But whatever you like. I'm going to wash my hands up again, and then we're going to go on to the next thing I wanted to show you. All right. Now this morning I was doing something else. I'm trying to take care of my health better. This casserole is not necessarily part of that, because there's, cream sauce in it. But I've been thinking about what I should be taking as like home remedies. Now, none of this is proven. None of this is even advised by me. I'm just telling you what I do. And the latest things I've been using for immune system health is I've been taking the elderberry syrup, and I'd love to grow some elderberries myself so I can make my own. I would like to do that. But I also have made up some capsules from moringa powder. Moringa powder, look it up. Moringa is like a miracle plant. It has more vitamin C, more iron, it has complete protein in a plant, which you don't find. Usually you have to mix your amino acids with potatoes and beans and things like that to get complete protein. So I've been taking that powder and mixing it up and taking a few capsules a day of moringa powder, or you could just add moringa powder to your food. I know Brad from Big Family Homestead swears that it helped his arthritis tremendously. Other people have been helped too, and then there are those who said it didn't help their arthritis at all. But my feeling is, even if it doesn't help my arthritis, and my fingers are feeling it, that there's so much good nutrition in it, it's good for your immune system to build you up. So you can't argue with the nutrition in it. So I'd like to take that and either sprinkle some in my food or drinks, and also put it in a capsule form. I bought these capsule things. They're just vegetable capsules, and I just dunk them and fill them and press them together. You can get a pill filler. I had one of those. I don't know if it's all that worth it. So yeah, I filled oops. I filled that bottle very full this morning. I'll get those in a minute. Okay, so that's what I'm doing health-wise. Some of the things I'm taking. Love my elderberry syrup, and also zinc. You know, if I get feeling like I'm catching a little something, I like the zinc because I have been reading the research on that, and they're saying that it disrupts the replication of the virus. I hope it's true. It seems to work. If I start taking it early, it seems to cut down the time that I have a bad cold or something. So I'm thinking if it helps with the cold virus, who knows? It could help with other viruses. So I do try and take zinc early if I feel something coming on. I don't know if I take it all the time for maintenance because it can be a little hard on your tummy. You have to be sure that you don't take it on an empty stomach if you're prone to having an upset tummy from things that are a little hard on it. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Okay, out to the dining room, and I'll show you how I'm working on my face mask. Let's see. Tinkerer's Wife. I've been making my own capsules tool. Hasn't helped me yet, but vitamins are good for you. That's right. Did you see where Brad found a newer variety he uses instead of that original he used? I did see something about it. This one I ordered a long time ago, and it's lasted quite a while. So I haven't, although I hadn't been making capsules for a year or so. So I'll probably get a fresh one. Grampy Campy says he uses moringa daily and loves it. God's Third Acre. I just started elderberries last year. They're doing great. My daughter, sorry Heidi, gave me a beautiful moringa bush last year, and I killed it. Yeah, I neglected it and it died. So I am going to go buy myself another one because I felt so bad. She had invested in that for me and I didn't take care of it. True confessions, I admit it. It was my fault. Okay, that looks delicious. Thank you, Pickerick. Ellie says it looks good. It's going to be yummy. Yeah, all those casseroles are yummy. You figure if your holiday meal is yummy, why wouldn't your casseroles made from it be yummy? Not sure how to make freezer slaw. Yeah. I was thinking about that too. Canned peaches last summer. I'm making peach cobbler right now. Good for you, Rick. Delicious Italian soup I make too, says Diane. And she says, I love making sauerkraut. Just did a video on canning it last week. Going to do another, doing a different way of canning. Almost my lunchtime here. She's making me hungry, says the tinkerer's wife. She moves mountains. Hello. Okay. I save my freezer for our meats and pre-made dinners. I want to use them for canning something or dehydrating. I fry cabbage up with onion and add par-cooked potatoes and ham for a casserole. Yeah, ham and cabbage. It's great. Okay, Pam says, I just found you 2 days ago. So glad I did. I agree with you. Cook with what you got and taste as you go. Absolutely. The sizzling sound is making me hungry, says Pickerick. Okay. I think I said hello to everybody. If I didn't, God's Third Acre. I know I read your comment. I don't know if I said hello or not. Alrighty. Belinda Barton, hello. Okay, I think I got everybody. Oops. All right, now we're going to go into the dining room where I got my machine set up. And we're going to take a look at that. Hang on. I might have to put you on the other side so you can see better. Yeah, I think I will. Alrighty, and I'm going to drop you down a little closer so you can get a better view. Yeah, I think that will be better. All right, this morning, this is the pattern. Well, it's kind of the pattern I found on the internet. I have cut it a little bigger than they had, and I'm going to put little, I don't know if you can see, little darts in it, because around the nose it just gaps too much, I think. And I'm also going to experiment with putting something bendy in the nose. I have one twist tie I found that some people were saying you should use. I haven't put them in yet, but I was going to try this one. And I also have some jewelry wire. This one happens to be 18 gauge. And I cut a length of that out, and I bent the bottoms under, kind of tucked them in so they wouldn't stick out and poke somebody. Plus, I'm going to wrap it in some duct tape so it will be safe and not poke anybody. So, in order to make these, what you do is you cut out 4 pieces. This is going to be the outside, this is going to be the inside, but then they're reversible, so you could use either for the outside or inside. I'm going to put right sides together like this. Now this rounded part, this is going to be the center where the nose is, right here. And this flat part back here, this is where the elastic attaches and it goes behind your ear. And so we're going to sew them together at the nose. So let me pull the machine over. And my foot pedal is wrapped around my table leg. Okay, and here's a few of the ones I've made. This was the first one I made. Oh no, this is a different one. Okay, I made it out of this with a lining like that. And this one I did put a couple little darts in on either side of the nose, right here and right here, right here and right here, to try and cinch it in a little bit. And when I first started, I took their advice on making these like 6 inches long. It was way too short. Now I'm up to 8 inches to make it fit better without folding your ears over. But I'm also starting to cut these sides longer. So the next ones I cut will be even longer. So you don't need as much elastic, and it doesn't pull your ears over when you put it on. And I have this one. If you saw the post I made before, this is made out of a Ralph Lauren shirt, men's extra long and tall Ralph Lauren shirt, brand new, that I found in a thrift store and washed it all up. And now we're going to have designer face masks. And I have a blue and white stripe on the back of that one. It's hard to see in this light, but yeah, blue and white stripe on the back of that one. So that was one of the first ones I made. And I have another bandana with a white polka dotty back. But this one is going to be a stripe with this orangey colored back. So I've yet to make one where I didn't make a mistake. So you may see me make a mistake and have to tear something out. I'm not even sure I have my ripper here, so let's hope I don't. All right, we start here, and I'm just using the side of the foot as a guide on the edge of the fabric, which probably will make it a 1/4 inch. Back it up. Alrighty, and then I'll just let her go all the way around. So I make it a little darker for you. Sometimes this won't let me. And back it up on the end. Okay, there's that. And then we're going to clip. Those of you who sew know that when you make a curve and you're going to turn it inside out, you want to clip the curve to the stitching, definitely not beyond the stitching, to allow for easy turning and less bulkiness when you turn it. So I'm clipping this in to the stitching. All right. Then I open it up, and there's that center seam. Okay. There's that center seam. I should have been a little more persnickety and lined them up perfectly. I didn't this time. All right, now we're going to do the same thing for the other side with the plain fabric. I'm going to put right sides together. Back it up. Ride the side of the foot, at least that's what I'm doing, along the edge of the fabric. All right. There. We got this one. And again, we clip the curves. Let me get the extra threads out. Okay, we clip the curves. Now, we put right sides together again. And I'm going to pin it. Now when I do it, I try to put the seam together, but I put the fabric of one on the left and the fabric seam of the other on the right to even out the bulk there. And then we line these up best we can and pin. And line this up and pin. Get it pretty even. Now, like I said, did I do this wrong? So if I do that and I want to put the darts in, no, I can do it with a seam there. Yeah, I'll do it with the seam there. Okay, so I'm going to put a seam all the way across here, and I'm also going to eventually do one across the bottom too. But I'm going to put the darts in simultaneously after I do this seam. And looks like my thread broke. I have to rethread. Yep, the thread broke. How come I can't cut left-handed? I don't know. There. Great, so I'll thread my machine back up. I had it through, but there we go. And we'll do this side where it's pinned together with the other one. Removing the pins as I approach them, keeping the edges even, and riding that side. And this one has curves as well. So we're going to snip the curves to the stitching, not beyond the stitching. There we go. And now I'm gonna, oh shoot, did you see what I did? I knew I was gonna make a mistake. I didn't put right sides together. I have a seam here, and I have an open seam there. How many times have you done something like that? Drives me crazy. Do a stupid little mistake, especially when I'm live. Make a stupid little mistake, and I have to take the seam out. Not sure where my seam ripper is, but these scissors are pretty good. Alright, so I'll come in here where the stitches are and snip a few to allow me to take out this and have to do it again. Doesn't that drive you nuts? Make a stupid mistake. How many of you saw me doing that as I was doing it? You sewers who say, Susie, you don't have right sides together. Yeah. Dummy, dummy, dummy. All right, it's coming out pretty good. These are Ginger scissors. They're good scissors. And I just had them sharpened. I was fortunate that my daughter works for a gardening center, and they have this guy come once a week who sharpens people's tools and stuff. And he'll do Heidi's stuff at an excellent price. So I got them done really cheap. I bought them in Pennsylvania at the Saturday market in Middleton. That's a big farmer flea market there in Middleton, Pennsylvania, every Saturday. And the person there had all kinds of sewing notions and scissors and that kind of stuff. And they were all brand new. So I don't know if a sewing store closed or what happened. But I got them for like $17, which for a pair of really nice Ginger's dressmaker shears is a great price. So I've enjoyed them. Plus, they're so cute. They got flowers on the handles, see? I love those scissors. All right, got them apart again. Let's see if I can put them together right sides this time. Yeah, dummy, dummy. There we go. Right sides together. Come on, you two, you've done it too. I know you have. Those of you who sew. Maybe not on your 8th mask, but and maybe not while you're live. But I did it. I did it. Sewed it together wrong way. Now they're already clipped, but I'll just sew below the clip marks. Make sure I do that. And we're back at it again. And then I'll put the little darts in. See, I could put them in now and have one on each side, but if I do it together, I can just put one diamond-shaped dart in the whole thing. You'll see what I mean. Or two, one on each side, I should say. All right, back to this. I'm sewing it just... I can actually sew it right on the line where I see the stitching was, because I only clipped to that line. Yeah, I'm going a little bit deeper just to be safe. I mess this one up, I'm going to give up. Give up sewing live. All right, let's see if I did it right this time. I'll have to pick out the rest of those little loose threads in there later, instead of boring you with it. Okay, now, yes, now we've got right sides together. All right, now when I put the little darts in, I go over about an inch from the center line, and I put my little dart in on the wrong side. I'm going to open up this seam. Is it better with the light off? Probably for you. Okay, I'm going to open up this seam. Make sure I'm about an inch from the center line. There. Now I'm going to start on the very edge, open it up in here about a 1/4 inch, and then close it up about, I'm going to start about a 1/2 inch above, or an inch above. Let's see, that's about an inch above. And I'm starting right off the side and I'm backing up off again. Now I'm coming on, making sure all the middle fabric is pulled out and not going to bunch up under there. And then coming over about 1/4 inch to the center line, and then gently going back in again about 1 inch and going off again, and backing it up and going off again. That should give me my dart. I'll show you what I did. Okay, I opened them up like this. I started about 1 inch above the seam. Right here, I was off the fabric, came in about 1/4 inch, went into the next fabric, came down about 1 inch, gradually coming out to the very edge and backing up off the edge again. And what that does is puts a little dart. Let's see if you can see that. See, here's a little dart. So that means it'll cinch it up against the nose a little bit. And going off the edge makes it so there isn't much of a tuck there when you get at the bottom. So we're going to do that on the other side too. Open up the seam. Come out about 1 inch. I'm just eyeballing it. All right, and off the edge, back it up off the edge again, then come in about 1/4 inch by the time you hit the middle. All right, making sure everything's nice and straight, and then coming back off again about 1 inch down the line. Back it up, off again. Okay, that should give me 2 nose darts that are both folded in on the wrong side of the fabric when you fold it back over, so you can reverse it. Okay, there's a nose dart here and a nose dart there, and if you reversed it, there's a nose dart here and a nose dart there, so it should cinch it in a little bit. Now, what I also like to do to make it a little more finished, now granted I'm rushing this for you guys, so I'm not being as persnickety as I was if I wasn't doing this live, and try not to waste your time. I'd make sure things were a little more even. But now you should press this down. I'm going to do that now. I think I got my iron on. So I'm going to press this down, and then I'm going to top stitch right along the seam here to make this where it's folded over, not bulky. So let me go over to where my iron is, and I'm going to press that down. Shoot, it's not on. It's plugged in. Huh. Oh, I know why, because it's got an automatic shut-off feature, and I wasn't using it. All right, well, just give it a few seconds to warm up here. Meanwhile, I'll finger press this to get it set. By finger press, I just mean folding it right where I want it and rubbing it down. Okay, that should do it. I'll give that a little iron right on the edge where the stitches are, folding it over. And then I'll come on the other side and do the same thing. All right, so I just folded that over and gave it a nice press to get a nice clean line there. And now I'm going to top stitch it Here you got to be a little persnickety because you want your top stitching to be straight. And again, I only want it just beyond the seam, so it's going to be less than 1/4 inch. I'm going to ride the middle of this foot. Whoops. Let's see if I can darken that for you. Come on now, darken. 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 Doesn't want to. All right, I'll do that. All right, I'll start here. You know what? If the light's off, the machine won't run. That's the on-off switch. Automatically turns the light on. So I'm running the edge in the middle of this foot, not on this edge here like I was, but in the middle of the pointer of the foot. So it's just beyond the seam. Okay, cut that off. Oops, sorry, cut that off. And there's my top stitching to hold it nice and make a nice finished seam there. Okay. Now the question is, do I want to put a stiffener in there to make it bend even better around the nose? And I am going to try and do that. This is the first time I've done it, so bear with me here. I'm going to open it up. Let's see, should I try this thing first? This is kind of flimsy. I don't know how much stiffening that'll do. Well, we'll try that one first. So I'm going to center it at the center seam here and fold this down. Pushing it up as close to the, oops, it fell out. Let me get it. It's a bread tie. All right, again, we're going to center it. Let's see if I can tape it in or pin it in. I'll put it right in the center. I don't want to tape it from that side. I want to tape it from, or pin it from the outside. Make sure all the lumps are out. All right, and I'll put the pin under it here so it can't go anywhere. Come over here, push it up to the center seam. All right, it's way up at the top of the seam. I'm going to pin it there so it's above that pin. That's a better idea. So we'll push it up all the way to the top of the seam and put the pin right here under it to hold it up at the top. And get the end one all the way up. Yeah, this is a little persnickety. Like, you can whip these things out quickly if you just want to put two pieces of fabric together and don't worry about how well they fit the nose and all that kind of stuff. All right, I think I have to pull it a little this way to get it even on either side of the crease. So let me find the end here. Here's the end, and I'm pulling it this way. There, now it should be in the middle. And I'm going to feel it, and I'm going to put a row of stitching below it. So I'm going to put I'm at the end, right here, I can feel the end of it. I'm going to put a couple of stitches there so it can't slide. And back it up. Okay, now I'm right below it, and I'm pushing it up to the seam and going to stitch below it to encase it without sewing through it. Making sure it's up at the top. I don't like the sounds of that. All right, so much for my live demonstration of how I'm trying to do these. You see what happened on the other side? I have a rat's nest. So it didn't sew, something came loose. Is this what happens to you? Let's see where it did sew. Something isn't threaded right, or oh, this thing was underneath the spool. Let me rethread. You're seeing all the mistakes that happen, all the problems that happen when you sew. All right, thread it again. That looks right to me. Make sure the bobbin seems good. If my sister's watching, she's saying, Susie, why didn't you just do it the easy way? So I like to make things difficult, I guess. I probably should have made a little channel to just push this through. You know, I'm thinking I could tape it there with the duct tape, but I don't know how well that would wash up. But I was going to use that to cover the wire, if I use the wire. They make it look so easy when they do it on a video and they just show you the parts where it all goes right. I think I want to stitch it on the stripe side so I make sure it's the prettiest there. I think that'll be the side that'll be used the most. All right, one more go at this. If this doesn't work, I'll have to do it off camera, fix it, and then show you the results later. All right, now we get it straight. Get it up in that edge. Okay, I think what's happening now is the wire is coming this way as I sew it, so I got to push it back to the end where I had the thing start. Yeah, and then finish it off. Get it straight. the thread broke again. I'll tell you. If something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong when you're live. So I got half of it in. But it does bend. I have it in, but it does bend. So I can, the twisty tie, see, it'll bend that way, or bend this way, and hold it. So I got it sewed from here to here, and I got to sew it from here to here because the thread broke. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make this thing work. I'm going to try another pin. Try another pin under it this way so it doesn't go anywhere. And then move it as I sew. All right, are we threaded? No. How many times can a thread break in 10 minutes? Well, the good news is every time I tried to thread it, I hit the eye. That isn't always the case either. Sometimes it takes me forever. Did it again. Whoop. Whoops, popped out. Get in there, you. See, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. Man, you booger. All right, it's in. Now can I get it through? Yes. Okay. I'll be amazed if anybody's still here after all this. I should have just showed you the easy way to do it, where they zip up real quick. Just 2 pieces of fabric. Okay, am I in? Did I do it? I don't know how pretty it is, but I think I did it. Yeah, I say it's reversible, but the orange side isn't going to look so pretty with that stitching on that side. All right. Sorry about all that. Yeah, that's not looking so good. All right, but let's see if it, yeah, see if you push it down, it will shape around the nose a little with that twisty tie. Like that. So that helps. That helps. All right. Before I continue, let me see if anybody's left here. You probably got all kinds of advice for me as I'm trying to do this. Make a pocket so you can change out the wires. I saw that flash by. Okay, there's the sauerkraut. I already read that. All right, back to the, okay. Look at what, use what you have applies to mask making as well as cooking. That's right, Ellie. I can't tell you what it means to me that you looked at my song. You are a precious, wonderful, kind person, GBY. I don't know who she, oh! Oh, God bless you. You're talking about when yes, you sang beautifully, Isabel. Have a good day, everyone, says Pickerick. I guess he has to leave. Loved your high school photo. Yeah, that was like 100 years ago, long time ago. We need prayers in my area. Was in those tornadoes. My family is safe, but many have lost so much. There were some pretty horrible tornadoes down south. We were warned that we might get some here last night, but thankfully we didn't. We had some high winds and a lot of rain, It's still raining a bit off and on today. I think all of us who sew have done the same. Yep. And I've done it more than once and more than 10 times on different projects. Okay, Southern Nona says her daughter was protected, thankfully, in the storms. I was saying, you don't have right sides together, but of course you could not hear me. You should have yelled louder, Donna. Yeah. The masks are really easy if you're not trying to be persnickety with the nose things and all that. You know, I'm wondering if you put a piece of elastic there, if it would stretch in and fit closer to the nose that way. I don't know. All right. Great live for times like these. Yeah, if I could get it done without making mistakes. Currently making a mask myself. I've made over 100 in a week. That's amazing, Angela. I'm just getting started and trying to make them. I should have just stuck to the simple ones, but yeah. It happens to all of us. Yep. I was trying something new I hadn't done before live. That is not a smart thing to do. I could probably learn to do these much quicker soon, but it ain't today. Okay. Local community making them. Albany Mountain. Is it possible to do tie strings on the mask? You know, definitely you can do tie strings on the mask. People do that. I don't like them. I don't like if you have to make them and turn them. That takes forever. If you use like ribbon or something finished, even I've seen people using some clothesline rope. I mean, all that can be done in a pinch. But I'm going to show you what I have for my elastic because everybody's running out of elastic. Yeah, I heard pipe cleaners, some people like them, some people didn't. I guess it depends on the pipe cleaner. I think some of them aren't as stiff as others, and then the ones that didn't have nice ones were, love your word, persnickety. Yeah. It was the machine acting up. Thank you, fishes. Yeah, the machine made me do it all wrong. Oh, well. Anyway, we got that in, and we got a little nose point here. Now, for the other side, this will be easy, I say. Watch me mess it up again. That's the other side. We're just going to... Yeah, I almost did. Almost sewed it together with the wrong sides together again. All right, we're just going to sew this one together on the bottom. Let me line up the seams like this. And like this. See, now this is how easy the top one should have been if I wasn't messing with that nose piece. All right, so we get that together and clip the strings and then clip the curves. Let me use my little scissors so I don't end up cutting through the whole thing. Today, I wouldn't be surprised if I did that. All right, clip the curves so it turns easier. Now we take this end, either end, and we pull the whole thing through like that. Alrighty. And now for the elastic on the ends. I'm going to clip all these stray strings off, make it a little neater. Okay, now for my elastic, I was fortunate that I have quite a bit of this black 1/2 inch elastic. Now they want you to use 1/4 inch elastic. So what I tried to do was cut it right up the middle to make 1/4 inch elastic. And that's what I did on these. And that's what I have right here to put on this mask. The problem with that is this wants to fray where you cut it. And even though I went through and I kind of picked out the frays so it seemed to be peeled back to a more solid area, when I washed them, it all frayed out again. So I picked them back again after washing, and then it still worked, but I don't know how well it'll do with consecutive washes. So if you can get 1/4 inch elastic, which I know is in excuse me, short supply now, that's the best thing to use. I may try some using the whole 1/2 inch elastic, but I don't think that's as comfortable on the face and coming up the sides as the 1/4 inch is. All right, so for this, I'm just folding back the edges inside like that to make them even. All right, you can pin it if you want. And then I'm taking my piece of elastic and I'm sticking it down here in about 1/4 inch just so I can catch it with the sewing machine. These, I made them 8 inches long. All right, and now I'm going to sew through it, back it up, and sew through it again. All right, then I make sure these edges are even, that I got them folded in the right amount to make it even, like that. And I take this piece and I stick it in here, watching the curve, make sure I got it in right. About 1/4 inch again, and we come across. And sew it, back it up, sew it again. All right, see, they go quickly when you're not messing with the nose thing. And you clip your threads, and there's one end in. Now as you can see, here it wants to fray, and I will peel that back to get a clean line there. But I do know when I wash it, I'm going to have to do it again because it will fray a little more. Not sure how long this kind of elastic will last after I have snipped it up the middle to make it 1/4 inch instead of 1/2 inch. All right, here's my other piece of elastic. See, this part goes really quick. And so does sewing the thing together if you're not messing with that nose thing. And if you're not sewing them together the wrong way. All right, get my sides together. And I am going to cut these sides longer on my next ones. I think they're more comfortable that way. This one was a little bit longer than the original pattern, but not a lot. All right, curves this way. I look at the way the elastic curves and then I lay it that way on the... All right, so we tuck it in up here at the corner. Put it in there enough to catch it, about 1/4 inch in. And then get these threads out of the way. And down here, tuck it in. So should this video be called How Not to Make a Hospital Mask or a Face Mask? All right, we'll clip the threads, then I'll try it on. We'll see how we did. Now, of course, before I give this to anybody, I am going to wash it. And I also want to put another stitch along the bottom edge here. It looks like it's folding in nicely, so I'm not going to iron it. But I'm going to top stitch it along the bottom here too to make it look nicer. Get these edges right. Okay, so that's looking better. Now I have on the other ones top stitch down this nose seam too. I don't think I'm going to push my luck with it. All right, here comes. Whoop, here comes the proof of the pudding here. The thing's going to work. All right, I can get my bandana off my ears. We'll see how this is going to work. This one was actually going to be for my husband. I made it a little bigger. So put it around my ear, around here. All right, it's a little big on me because I did cut it bigger for him. If I were going to keep it for me, I'd put another tuck in it, put it down here. But in fact, if it was going to be for me, I would keep it a little bit shorter like that. Yeah. But it does come in up here on the nose part. And I don't need it quite as long on the elastic. Last time I used the elastic, it was too short and it was folding my ears over. This one's a little bit long for me. So you got to be a little persnickety. You like that word? And make them to fit the person you're making them for. But ribbon may be too slippery. Yep, shoelace. I've heard people using shoelaces. Okay, I made a bunch of 100% cotton face masks for my daughter, Vet Tech. Didn't put a wire in it because she microwaves them to kill the germs. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Just type at with your name. Oh, she's telling us, Nona. Okay. About lighten the names up. Right. All right, so I don't know if I'm going to leave this up or not. It wasn't a great tutorial. If I was doing it on video, you wouldn't have seen all the mistakes, though. You would have just seen me do it perfectly. In fact, I would have done this one a little smaller and then showed you how it fit me perfectly. But I do have these other ones I did. This one is with the bandana on both sides. And I did do the top stitching down the middle there, if you can see. And this one fits me better. Let me see, where's the nose pleats? Okay, this is the nose side up here. So it's that one. And it is reversible. So you can put it blue or you can put it red. Like that. Yep. And then I have this one too that I've done. So if you guys want to get out there and make face masks for people and give them away, that would be a wonderful thing. I'm making them for my family first and then for my neighbors, whoever wants some. I'll get better at it. I'm just starting out. I've only made about 7. And here's my designer one with the Ralph Lauren shirt. Like this. All these are going to be washed. So, yeah. Face masks. All right, the other thing I'm going to do today when I get tired of making face masks is I'm going to start cutting apart my sweaters because I have to start, even though it's going into summer, I have to start making mittens for the fall for my tables at, like, if they have Homesteaders of America this year, I'm going to need my tables filled with mittens that I make from sweaters. And so I have to stay on top of those and not wait till the last minute to do them. I did get in a bunch of wool sweaters that I can cut apart and turn into mittens, all different colors and fabrics. I've got lamb's wool, I've got alpaca, I've got sheep's wool, I've got all kinds of wool with different patterns and solids and textures. So I'll be making more mittens for next year coming up. So thanks for joining me. And next time, if I do them on video, you'll see me doing perfect. The first time, it will be amazing because I'll cut out all that stuff where I made the mistake. So, yeah. Thanks for joining me. If you're watching on replay, if I keep this up, you'll be seeing other videos coming up here, 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 and here. And you can click on those and see what else BanDana Gramma's up to. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I'm live again. And God bless you all. Bye-bye.